Alrighty, so we're going to be going over the new Disaster Battle event, and I say new very loosely because this, I think, is the third time that we've had this Disaster Battle event at this point, but they changed it up a little bit where instead of Camilla being the third battle, they actually changed it to Mono because she is the newest catastrophe that actually has an awakened form. So things to know about Eastin before we hop into this one. Basically, the only thing you have to worry about, I guess, is she does extra, or she takes less damage from human enemies, so we're going to be using Cusack and Chandler. Honestly, you can just use whoever you want. As long as they hit hard, you can get these over with pretty much in one turn. The other thing is she steals Ultimate Move Gauge Orb when attacking, so she does have the AoE card right here, which will end up, taking away Ultimate Move Gauge from everybody on the field, which is going to get her ultimate, pretty much instantly. But I think, I don't even really know what she does in the second phase. Pretty much the same stuff, but a little bit different. She has some different skills and everything, of course, but one thing to note is that you can use the Cleanse and Thonar comp in this. I have had people in the chat already tell me before, or when I was streaming for Chandler Summons, which if you want to hang out, if you want to be up, see the Chandler summons or any summons when the banners come out, feel free to subscribe. Not on me, feel free. Most of the deathmatch stuff works in these because it's considered to be a deathmatch because it's you and a teammate. So you can use Red Summer Deanne, who's new, that for the OG demon or whatever. You can use her. You can use Green Liz as long as you meet the passive requirements. So using Thonar and a cleanse unit, and then having Scotty on the team who debuffs herself, cleansing with Margaret, and then getting all of Thonar's passive, which is like increased, attack stats and attack related stats. Those will help clear a lot faster. So luckily, a friend of mine has that as his AI team, so I'm going to be using that to kind of show you. But yeah, we're going to do the hardest difficulty on Eastin, Valenti, and on Mono. They're not really too hard at this point. You may be... The hardest one, I would say, is definitely Valenti. There's some interesting mechanics to Mono, but for the most part, they're pretty straightforward. I would definitely say Valenti's like the hardest, but even then, it's not too bad. So Scotty actually does really good damage here. Unfortunately, the bot's not going to do the whole debuff and then cleanse thing first turn, so we don't get the attack related stats or anything, but we can easily just get some damage off here, maybe throw up the counter. We should be really close to killing. If not, we should be, I don't know, at least below half, and then maybe the counter will actually push phase on this. I'm not too sure on that, but yeah, we end up doing a pretty decent amount of damage here on turn one. I don't know, if you have any interesting teams that you use for these death matches or anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. I know a lot of people are probably going to have trouble with Valenti overall, so if you have something that you use instead of Red Sariel, who has just always been like the go-to unit for that fight, yeah, but by all means leave a comment, because I'm sure somebody will find it helpful. So at this point he's cleansing, so we're going to get the huge thing, so Scotty will definitely kill here. We can basically just waste cards if we want to. I think we'll just go ahead and waste that, and then, well, maybe we should have ranked up because the bot's not going to be able to get his cards ranked up, but either way, we'll be okay. But this is going to do pretty good damage, 308k, which is not bad at all, so we get rid of the cards that we wasted here. Pushing into phase 2, she does the cool transformation, which I do like the fact that there's awakened forms and they actually have a cool, thing going on for these. Very neat. But, I don't know, the OCs, the catastrophes and stuff. He didn't have any Scotty cards. Scotty absolutely like one-shot this last time that I was doing it, so that was really fun. But it doesn't look like I'm going to get that lucky this time, which we should get increased stats. It doesn't really matter because the attack stats from Thonar's passive are way better than what Gothra can give, so we're not really gaining anything here, but level 3 cleave. Pretty good damage, and then the counter should finish off, but if we would have used another attack, we would have won. I don't know, pretty easy peasy. Let's hop over to the Mono fight really quickly and see how that one goes. Alrighty, so with Mono, the things that you're going to want to have to worry about with this one are basically, I think it's this. No, okay, so she does deal, she can put debuffs on you. which is kind of interesting. She'll deal a little bit more damage depending on what debuffs and everything, but the ones that are really interesting here are the hero recovers 50% of diminished HP for each debuff removed from self. I'm not exactly sure why she has this, because I can't find a reason why she actually would remove a buff or not. She does deal 100% extra, or she decreases damage dealt by demon units, so don't use demons on this one. I'm using basically humans. Another interesting thing is that Zaratros is actually strong here, so I'm using him just, I guess, as a meme. But, oh, another weird thing is it recommends that you use Proliferate, which is not even a skill effect in the game. I'm not positive on why that is. Yeah, she does put on debuffs, so if you want to use a cleanse, you can definitely do that. Apparently charge cards are pretty decent as well, but this one is the big interesting one. So if a crit strike occurs from the hero's skill use, the hero recovers 50% of diminished HP. So if you don't kill, you know, you want to try to you want to try to kill as quickly as possible if you can, so she doesn't heal. But on top of that, you know, I'm also running green Sariel on Zaratros, so I can try to spam his skills, hopefully decrease her crit chance a little bit. I guess technically you could try to bring in characters that just have as much crit resistance or whatever as possible, but I don't know. It's a bit of an interesting fight here. So using the normal rotation here from the AI, we're going to upgrade, and then we're just going to use both Sariel cards, or Zaratros cards. I actually didn't get to use his single target card last time because Scotty ended up doing more damage and I was saving it for phase 2. But he deals a really good amount of damage right here. This AoE card actually doesn't do very well at all. It's a shatter card. I'm not really sure, even with him getting the 30% extra boost, it just doesn't do well. He actually crit there too, which is hilarious because you don't want Zaratros to crit. So that's unfortunate. He is critting here, so you're going to see a huge heal. Oh, he's actually... Damn, he uses that card twice. The first time that I fought this, he used that card twice, and that one doesn't seem to hit crits much at all, if any. So, yeah, bit of an interesting one there, I guess. But let's just use some Escanor cards, and hopefully we'll be good here because we're getting the attack buffs and everything, which obviously I know you guys probably aren't going to have an AI or a teammate that has these attack buffs. Just know, like, if you're running 2 actual damage dealing teams, you should be able to get this over with pretty quickly. It's not that bad. I'm just using what I have sort of available just to kind of show you guys the fight and everything, teach you about the mechanics and everything like that. So just bring, honestly, for this one, humans are pretty good, so just bringing like Escanor if you have him, which hopefully you do, because he got given away for free on one of the more recent festival banners, which I think you can still do. I think newer characters still have the chance to do that. I'm not positive on that, but 675k there. Scotty literally just wipes the floor with mono, and yeah, we're pretty much good to go. Let's move on to the hardest one. It's the most mechanic heavy, I think, which is the Valenti one. Sariel is gonna pretty much wipe the floor here, so let's move on. Alrighty, and now for Valenti. So the big things to note with Valenti are you basically want to use Sariel because of this right here. Increases the hero's damage taken from skills with the Sever effect. You don't necessarily have to use Sariel, but he's just pretty readily available at this point. He's been in the game for a while. He ends up being on a pretty decent amount of banners, so he not only has a Sever card, but he has a Sever ultimate, which is basically what you're going to do is you're going to rush his ultimate in phase 1, push into phase 2, and then use the ultimate to one-shot the phase, basically. So the only things that you really have to worry about is he uses, or she uses, Genesis every 2 turns, which Genesis is this card. It is a single target card that prevents ultimate move gauge from filling up for 3 turns, so that can be an issue if you aren't getting the cards that you need for Sariel or whatever the case may be. So that one can technically be a problem. I am bringing a taunt unit. I'm bringing Deanne on the team just because she actually has a Sever card as well. But I don't think there's really anything else too crazy. You basically do want to have the ultimate as soon as you go into phase 2, because she also puts on these effects. I think it's fear. I'm not sure exactly which passive it's going to be, But yeah, so at the start of the battle, applies 1 fear effect on 2 random enemies for 2 turns. When hit by an enemy affected by fear, the skill will miss. So basically, if you get really unlucky and your Sariel ends up getting hit by fear, I'm pretty sure you can still use ultimate moves to deal damage, but his regular like sever cards and stuff like that are just going to miss. So you're not going to try to rely on his just regular cards to do damage here. You want to try to get the ultimate if possible. So obviously the goal is taunt with Deanne, so that way hopefully he's not, disabling, he's not stopping me from filling up my ult gauge with Sariel. Hopefully we can beat the first phase here in like 2 turns or so either way. But we immediately have that nice taunt first thing. The only problem here is that we pulled an extra Sariel card, which isn't necessarily like an issue, but I definitely don't want to use 1 card, so that way I can make sure that I am still able to get the ultimate move gauge if possible. So not a whole lot of damage here from the Margaret. Because of the bot getting the extra Gother card, it's going to prioritize trying to use that first, which is fine. It's not an issue. But moving into this, doesn't actually get through the shield there. So we will probably end up needing to use the taunt this turn just in case. Also a bad thing, well, I wonder if me having this will proc the Thonar passive. Sorry, I'm all kinds of tongue-tied right now. Let's go ahead and use this, and we'll taunt up just in case. I don't know if we're going to kill here or not. Okay, we do get Thonar's passive because I had a debuff on, so that's good. So we should deal a pretty good amount of damage here. God, honestly, I'm so impressed with how Scotty is performing in these fights. If you have Scotty and you want to run like the support team, by all means, feel free, because she's good. So unfortunately, we do waste the level 3 Sever card there, but because she takes 50% extra damage from Sever cards and my ultimate is Sever, you can see I have Fear here, so this is going to be the ultimate test on whether this hits or not. I'm pretty sure it does, which that's a Sever card as well. I don't know. We'll see how that does. Let's see how it goes. So his Margaret has the other Fear on, which Thonar's doing some pretty good damage here, even without Sever cards, so that's great. And then the ultimate still connects. I'm pretty sure it does. Boom. 2.5 mil. That's at 6/6. Obviously, if you have a lower ult level, you should still be fine. It might not kill on a level 1 ult, but even then, if you're using a teammate who's using another Sariel, you should be fine, unless both of you get feared or something and you didn't get your ultimates or whatever the case may be. But it's pretty straightforward at this point. These fights, obviously, as we sort of go on, we end up out-leveling these fights pretty easily, so it's just going to get easier each time they do it, unless they start buffing stats and stuff like that of the enemies. But even with Mono being new to this fight specifically, like this set of fights, she really wasn't that bad either. So either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.